In my left side, we have our friend Dr. Ajay Kumar Pethoy, who is working at the head of the Department of Education in City College, Barampur. So each panelist will be given 2 to 3 minutes to say their views regarding the development of teacher education in India and past, present, and what will be the future of teacher education in the context of national education policy. They will share their views. And after the discussion, questions will be invited from the participants, from the B.Ed first year and second year students. Other distinguished guests who are sitting over here, they can also raise and give their suggestion. So I will start from Professor Manoj Kumar Pradhan. We will listen to his views regarding the development of teacher education in India and in past, present, and what will be its future in the context of National Education Policy 2020. Please start.
Thank you. With reverence to the chair and giving and owing much regards to the panelists present over this dais. Now I am going to start the discussion relating to the past, present, and the way forward, that is the future of the teacher education program, especially in India. Actually, as my friend Dr. Pentu rightly said, or Professor Bayer rightly said, teacher education is at the crossroad. But as far as the past of teacher education is concerned, we had a very rich culture of teacher education in our country. Nowadays, we demand the teacher-student ratio should be very less. But you will be astonished to know, previously, one teacher was leading hundreds of students. And that was possible because the dedication, the emotional attachment that we had, that the teacher or the guru had for the students. In this regard, I want to say about the teacher like Chanakya, who is also known as Kautilya, the author of Arthashastra. Many brilliant gurus were there. Yesterday I was just discussing something in my classroom. I said, Dr. Kasturi Rangan, who is the pioneer, chairman of this NEP 2020 policy, no doubt he is a modern scientist, but he is also a guru and rishi in this present context. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, great gurus like this in the modern era, who are dedicated for the nation. I want to just hint about something. Once Kautilya or the Chanakya was involved in some state work, royal work, in the evening, burning the lamp at the time. No electricity was there. And one of his friends came to him to talk about something. When the friend came, at the time Kautilya put off the lamp. His friend asked, why did you put off the lamp? He said, at the time I was working for my state, for the king, royal work. So the oil that was being used, coming from the exchequer, state exchequer. Now I am talking with you, you are my friend. So I did not waste this. And this type of dedication if you will have, then the future of the teacher education will be very bright. Now the teacher has to create some examples. So this 2020 policy wants to revive the Indian knowledge system. That is actually Indian nature. It is called national policy in education. It is not new education policy. It is a truly national, Rashtriya. What a should have India to become a Vishwa Guru. We want India to become a Vishwa Guru. It is not like that. India has already become a Vishwa Guru. When do we observe? ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ କରୁଛୁ କଣ ସେଟା କହୁଛୁ ଆମର ଯୋଗ ଦିବସ ଜୁନ 21 ନା କଣ June 21st International Yoga Day, when in 150 places all over the countries of the world, the thousands of people, lakhs of people, they are being involved in practicing yoga. At that time, what happened? They were not only practicing yoga for themselves, indirectly they owed much. They bowed their head under the lotus feet of Bharat Mata. Bharat Mataଙ୍କର ସେଇ ପାଦପଦ୍ମରେ ନିଜକୁ ସମର୍ପଣ କରୁଥିଲେ। ସାରା ପୃଥିବୀର ଦେଶ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସ କରୁଥିଲେ ଯୋଗ ସେତେବେଳେ କଣ? At that time we had become ବିଶ୍ୱଗୁରୁ। ବିଶ୍ୱଗୁରୁ ଆମେ ହବାକୁ ଯାଉନୁ, ସେତେବେଳେ ବିଶ୍ୱଗୁରୁ ହେଇଗଲୁ ସେଇ ସମୟରୁ। We do not know many things. We are having archery. I want to give you an example. We want to revive this. These are our old age-old culture. We forgot all these things. I have already told you how, in which way we were the 100% literate states in the world. In the world, we 100% literate state थिलु। ଯେତେବେଳେ 1835 ପୂର୍ବରୁ ମୁନରୋଙ୍କୁ କହିଲେ, who told Lord Macaulay, ତାଙ୍କର ଯେତେବେଳେ decision ହେଲା English government to provide ଅନୁଦାନ to the just indigenous schools. ଅନୁଦାନ means what? We are getting अनुदान from the government. Previously we used to get दान from the government. दान and अनुदान, there is conspicuous difference between these two. दान is meant for the gurus, and there is no restriction. When the government will give अनुदान to you, there is a controversy, there is some sharta, there is sharta rahibo. Then when you are bound by the shartas, then you are not free to do the activity you want to do. So many activities we want to do, but we are bound by the rules and regulations because we are getting अनुदान from the government. This अनुदान system is also in controversy. I don't want to say much more things. Now let our students understand and identify what they had, what we had in the past. So we had a great culture. Lord Krishna used to visit to the Gurukula Ashram. Lord Rama used to visit to the Gurukula Ashram. Your Arjuna, the God, if he will take birth in this Bhagavati, he has to go to the Gurukula Ashram. So Guru Parampara is to be revived now. What happens? This Guru Parampara, this importance of gurus, teachers, are now being revived by this policy. And this is truly Indian in nature. Okay? This is truly Indian in nature. So at the time when the Britishers started English education in India, southern province, जेटा कि हमारा Madras province में 98% literacy. Western province Bombay, अभी तक मुंबई कहूँ 97% literacy. कोलकाता रे 94% and 90% in northern province, जोटा कि पाकिस्तान, सिंध, पंजाब, up to some extent Afghanistan रे वर्तमान दिला जोड़े India में. Then almost 100% literacy was prevalent at that time. Even we had an indigenous system of education at that time in India. प्रति गाँव रे गुरुकुल थिला, प्रति गाँव रे शिक्षा रो एक strong foundation थिला. And Britishers, they wanted to devastate it. They wanted to demolish it. If we want to, they thought that if we want to rule these Indians for thousands of years, we have to first demolish this indigenous system of education. And they started to demolish it, devalue it, and they just inculcated the feelings like everything Indian is bad, everything Occidental is bad, everything Western is good. But to just instill that kind of feelings in our students, in our participants, so that they will have something. They will not hate our own culture. So this is a revival of the culture of the country. This is truly Indian in nature. First time we see a policy which is truly Indian, and I know I don't remember the numbers. 20 crores, more than 20 crores people they have participated in the discussion before the starting of this policy. ସବୁ ପଞ୍ଚାୟତରେ ଗାଁରେ ବ୍ଲକରେ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟରେ ସବୁଆଡ଼େ ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ ହେଇ କରାଯାଇଛି, ଯୋଉଟାରେ କି ପପୁଲେସନ୍ ମାନେ 100ଟା ଦେଶର ପପୁଲେସନ୍ ବି ଅଧିକ ଅଛି 20 crore ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଏତେ ଲୋକ ଭାଗ ନେଇ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ we have a great thing forward. We have to just inculcate that kind of feelings in our students in the teacher education, especially who are in the line of teacher education. So with this, much thanks to the chair for allowing me to just express my feeling, ventilate my feeling. Now it is over to the chair for the next decision. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Pradhan. Professor Pradhan highlighted the importance of Gurukula system of education in ancient India. If we go through two books written by R.K. Mukherjee and Altekar, these two authors have rightly emphasized the importance of Gurukula system of education in ancient India. Thank you very much. So now, should we invite questions or we give? Okay. Now our next panelist is Professor Behera. So he will highlight about the future of teacher education in India.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Chair of the session, and my friend Dr. Pradhan and Dr. Pentry, and dignitaries sitting in front of the dais and all the students also. Okay, thank you. Okay, Dr. Pradhan has rightly emphasized the past of teacher education, and I would like to start from that. Now, how the teacher education system was in the past. Actually, the ancient teacher education system was not properly recorded in our history, for which we are not actually aware of the past teacher education system of the country. This is the first problem. And the second problem is that, and the present, the modern teacher education is not about a very significant years ago. That means the history of modern teacher education is not so old, I want to say. And but whatever it may be, sir has already suggested me to speak about the present of the teacher education system, and similarly I would like to focus on the shifting. Since the topic is the shifting of teacher education system, I will just highlight the shifting of teacher education, different dimensions of shifting. So the present teacher education system has been shifted to the future teacher education system, and what are the dimensions? The first of all, the base. The base already highlighted by Dr. Pradhan, that earlier the teacher education system was westernized. It was based in the Western system of education, but now already your NEP 2020 has already suggested we will rotate into the Indian culture and tradition. That means our base will be the base of teacher education will be in the Indian ethos, Indian culture, tradition, and it will be also mother tongue based. In future, it will become the mother tongue based. And earlier it was not through other medium of instruction, but particularly medium of instruction, English or other languages. Now it is going to be mother tongue based teacher education system in future. That is one point. Then second is that the structure of teacher education system. Earlier it was 1 year, then 2 years. Now it is going to be 4 years, and it has decided. And in future it will be also 1 year. Again, it will be the 1 year paid system is coming back. You will see. Already it has been suggested that the students who will complete 4-year degree course and master degree course either in science or arts, they will pursue 1-year B.Ed course. That is another shifting. That is the structure. And the next one is the curriculum. Whatever the change in curriculum. Change in, earlier the curriculum was they bit only the traditional subjects were included in the teacher education curriculum. Now the curriculum of teacher education, we have already analyzed that the certain modern system has been added, papers have been added like inclusive education, like different types of internship. Earlier the internship was less. Now internship has been increased to 20 months, I think. 20 weeks. 12 plus 8, 20 weeks. Earlier it was only 1 month, 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Now internship has been emphasized. That means the purpose is that the students who will come out from the teacher education institution will be skilled in their internship, their practice. The practice is given more emphasis in present teacher education system. This is one thing. The next thing is that the next shifting is the process. That means the learning process. Earlier it was behavioristic. Now it has been converted to cognitive. That means constructive approach. Constructive approach has been added in the curriculum also. And that constructive approach, that means our friend was already, Wasi was also talking how it has been shifted from learning center to learner center. Sorry, learner center to learning center. That you are doing. That was teacher center earlier in the past. But teacher centered has been converted to learner center. Now it is going to be learning center. This is the shifting. This is not a shifting. So learning center will be the teacher education system. And what are the other processes also? Process is that what is the change in the shift in the process and what is the process the change in the setup. And earlier it was focused on the general students. Now it is going to be inclusive. Inclusive setup of teacher education system, my paper is on that. Inclusive setup of population education. It is one thing.
How learning is giving more importance than teaching, how we are giving more importance to the learner in comparison to the teacher. So all these things is nicely emphasized. And पिलामाने ओडिशार system of teacher education देखिबा 1922 मसियारे ओडिशारे टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन सेकेंडरी लेवल नथिला 1922 बेसी दिन नुहे 1922 रे ओडिशारे सेकेंडरी टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन नथिला. The first training college was established in the year 1923 as normal school जहाँ को वर्तमान आमे कोचे राधानाथ आईएससी कटक. Gradually हमरो आरंभ हैला. जदि ता पूर्वरु आमे टिके जिबा हाई स्कूल कथा मने पकेबा 1853 मसिया रे ओडिसा रे हाई स्कूल नथिला. There not having a single high school in Odisha in 1853. 1854 रे the first high school was established जहाँ ना होचे वर्तमान रेभेन्सा कॉलेजिएट स्कूल. First girls high school was established Revensa Girls High School जोटा चौधरी बाजार कटक रे अछि. First women's college was established in 1913 जोटा होचे सरबला women's college. First teacher training college कथा हमें जोटा कोचे राधानाथ training college कथा हमें कहूचे which was converted to IAS after National Education Policy सेटा होची 1923 मसिया गोल्डन जुबली वर्तमान लास्ट ईयर से सेलिब्रेट करिसंती ग्रेजुअली टीचर एजुकेशन सिस्टम रे मध्ये चेंज होला पिला मानन पय ओडिया रे कहूची earlier we had 1 year teacher education program, then we started 2 years teacher education program, again 4 years integrated teacher education program was started, again we have started 3 years integrated B.Ed M.Ed program. B.Ed M.Ed program 3 वर्ष मध्ये आरंभ होईची ओडिसा रे मध्ये चाली. One of the important development in the system of teacher education is that IITs have started B.Ed degree integrated B.Ed program. तेणु क्वालिटी निश्चित बढ़ी आउ गोटे नुआ एम्फासिस होची वर्षक भितरे एडमिशन जेतबे नवंबर डिसेंबर रे होतिला स्टूडेंट्स वर कंटिन्यूइंग B.Ed for 4 to 5 months are getting the degrees. Now after the recommendations of Burma committee amar 2 वर्षिया कोर्स हैला आ वर्तमान मेजर एम्फासिस इज गिविंग अ प्रैक्टिस टीचिंग. तेणु बहुत गुडा जिनिस चेंज हेची सार जहा कहिले तेणु हमर टीचर एजुकेशन सिस्टम कथा कय कथा भी लाखुना अछि कोन लाखुना अछि हम देखिबा प्राइवेट टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन आर रनिंग इन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री. पिला खाली एडमिशन देकी दे आर गेटिंग नागार्जुन यूनिवर्सिटी अदर यूनिवर्सिटीज दे आर टेकिंग एडमिशन एंड गेटिंग द डिग्रीज. क्वालिटी इज बीइंग डिटोरेटेड. हमर एनसीटी काम करछि न्याक मध्ये काम करछि तथापि न्याक रे मध्ये मझिरे मझिरे असुविधा होछि. एबे किछि दिन तळे आपण माने पढिथिबे आ न्याक मध्ये ग्रेडिंग करछि 7टा ग्रेड थला वर्तमान 10टा तार क्राइटेरिया आइछि. स्टिल गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज trying for improving the quality of teacher education throughout the country. आखरी चेंज आसीबो आरो वर्ष को वर्षिकिया B.Ed प्रोग्राम मध्ये आरंभ होछि. को माने करिवे those who have completed 4 years degree or PG they will continue 1 year B.Ed program आरंभ मध्ये हो. Very many new developments have taken place in the field of teacher education. आखरी चेंज आसीबो. ये जो हमें ओडिसा कॉन्टेस्ट जदि हमें देखिबा बहुत कॉलेजेस थिला दे वर रनिंग विथ ए सिंगल फैकल्टी. ही वाज द प्रिंसिपल, ही वाज द लेक्चरर. वर्तमान गवर्नमेंट ऑफ ओडिसा टेकन ए ड्रास्टिक स्टेप ऑफ अपॉइंटिंग more than 300 टीचिंग स्टाफ एंड डिफरेंट टीचर ट्रेनिंग कॉलेजेस. क्वालिटी निश्चित इंप्रूव होउची और डायनामिक फैकल्टी मेंबर्स एटी जो माने मध्ये जॉइन करिसोती आपण माने देखिबे आ सब टीचर बहुत डायनामिक फैकल्टी दे हैव जॉइंड. प्रोफेसर पोस्ट हैव बीन क्रिएटेड इन टीचर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस. आउरी बहुत बड़ा डेवलपमेंट होउची. फ्यूचर रे मध्ये आउरी डेवलपमेंट होबो. There will be drastic change in the system of education throughout the country. Thank you very much. Now, we are giving mic to Dr. Phatoi. He will say about his views regarding the development of teacher education in India.
এই সেশনর সভাপতি মহোদয় मोर बंधु मनोज प्रधान प्रोफेसर जी की कॉलेज प्रिंसिपल मोर बंधु पूर्णचंद्र बेहरा सार मते टॉपिक कहले जे कॉन्टेस्ट जो डिस्कशन होची जे फ्यूचर विषय कहली प्रथमे उपलब्धि करबा दरकार एजुकेशन होची गोटे सामाजिक आवश्यकता. एजुकेशन इज ए सोशल नीड. एटा समाज पे दरकार. सेति पई विजन रखा जायछि. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री हमर कहइछन्ति केरे केरे हाई छावनी को अटल करछन्ति मेक इन इंडिया, स्किल इंडिया, ग्लोबल लीडर ई सब कथा अछि. हमर कोठारी कमिशन कहइतले स्कूल इज ए मिनिएचर सोसाइटी. फ्यूचर ऑफ द नेशन इज बीइंग सेट इन द इनसाइड द क्लासरूम. एई जिंसो यदि आख्या के रखिबा तो शिक्षाटा होची समाजर आवश्यकता. आमे शिक्षा व्यवस्था कोन पे रखिचे टू क्रिएट प्रोडक्टिव सिटीजन. सुस्थ सबल उत्पादनशील क्षमता जार थिबो सेबळी नागरिक मानको तोलिबा पई गढिबा पई निर्माण करिया पई शिक्षा व्यवस्था नियोजन होइछि. एवं ए शिक्षा व्यवस्था को संचालन करिया पे शिक्षा व्यवस्था कराइछि. तेणु करी आमे शिक्षक फ्यूचर नेशन जहा आशा करूछि हम दारू शिक्षक शिक्षा दारू जहा आशा करूछि सेटा होछि कोन ना प्रोडक्टिव होवा दरकार. शिक्षक शिक्षा व्यवस्था प्रोडक्टिव होवा दरकार. स्किल ओरिएंटेड होवा दरकार. जेमति कहउतली
आमे क्लासरूम रे समस्त पाठ पढौचे खाली डिग्री बांटुचे जोडा कि ताको फ्यूचर काम रे आसीबो नाही प्रोडक्टिविटी नथिले सेटा किछ आसीबो काम क्रिएटिविटी नथिले किछ काम रे आसीबो जापान जीवा चाइना जीवा जे जे बिगनर जे शिक्षा आरंभ करूची तार प्रथम से टेक्निकल एजुकेशन शिखुची जे हम जो एकेडमिक एजुकेशन घोषी चालचे परीक्षा रे पास करिया पे डिग्री हासिल करिया पे तार दुकान दा पे एटा दुकान दा पे सेठी शिक्षा प्रदान करा जाउची इट इज वेरी मच प्रोडक्टिव तेणु आमर फ्यूचर एजुकेशन जो मोर जहा आशा जे आमे बीइंग ए रेस्पॉन्सिबल टीचर इनसाइड द क्लासरूम being the responsible teacher training who are taking training in this institution or neighboring institution, we should keep in our mind that we should develop our quality, we should make our student productive, we should make our student responsive to the society to face the challenges that are coming over there. So our samaj ta agu ko jauchi technology driven society hai, we should have to cope up with this trend. We cannot be escaped from this process. So still, we have to try to face the challenges boldly. If we will have potentiality, creativity, and energy, and we should have to stand on our own leg by supporting our belly, supporting our pocket. बापा माँ पैसा देले हम पाठ पढ़ी यदि ता पर यदि हम पाठ समाप्त करे हम प्रोडक्टिव होवानी we cannot be useful for our society, for our family also. So हमें परिवार पे समाज पे राष्ट्र पे कितनी यूजफुल होगा क्वालिटी शिक्षा ग्रहण करिबा क्वालिटी प्रोडक्टिव शिक्षा ग्रहण करिबा एवं निज को प्रोडक्टिविटी माने उत्पादनशील क्षम करई परिबा से दिगरे फ्यूचर शिक्षा आशा पोषण करछि सेति प्रति हमर शिक्षक शिक्षा व्यवस्था मध्य प्रोडक्टिव होगा दरकार क्वालिटेटिव होगा दरकार विभिन्न कथा लेखाई क्वालिटेटिव करिया पे तो विभिन्न प्रकार ट्रेन करिया पे सब प्रकार आबिनु पलाई खाली इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप कर देले प्रोफेसर अपॉइंटमेंट कर देले माने रेशियो बंधु कहउले रेशियो होगा दरकार 1:100 स्टूडेंट्स टू देयर हम यदि चिंता करिबा भारत स्वाधीनता आनिया पे गोटे लीडर थे महात्मा गांधी हला केते स्टेट केते जिला केते ग्राम पंचायत केते गां सबुटे केते केते लोक वास करते तां फॉलो अप करी तां लीडरशिप नेतृत्व देले व्हाई नॉट ए सिविल टीचर कैन लीड द नेशन inside the classroom why should we pronounce the number 1:100 1:60 as per the recommendation of the Coterie Commission if we will have quality sufficient quality energy we can lead the entire nation inside the classroom. So such type of education system should be there, such type of qualitative teacher education should be there, and teachers should truly treat him as a quality teacher inside the classroom so that he can produce number of fellows which can be helpful for the shaping of the nation. This is my remark about the future of the teacher education, which is the major topic of discussion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Pentoy. Dr. Pentoy highlighted about the quality of teacher education in our country. वर्तमान आम जदि पिला माने देखिबा नेशनल पॉलिसी कथा तार मध्य ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर कथा कहउथिले प्राइम मिनिस्टर के बहुत बढ़िया कथा कहउचंती इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी फॉर विकसित भारत जदि डेवलप्ड इंडिया में चाहूजे बाय 2047 आमे नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी भलो सुंदर भाबे इम्प्लीमेंट करिया पड़िबो एटा होचे हमर ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर को मध्य विजन आउ हमर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट मध्य मेजर स्टेप्स नउची विकसित ओडिसा बाय 2036 हमर जहां मनोज बाबू कहउथिले बहुत बड़े स्टेप्स हमें नेइचे गवर्नमेंट मध्य नेइची हमर बेराउ मध्य कहउथिले सेतु केते बड़े जदि देखिबा हमें मेजर रिकमेंडेशंस कथा जहां मनोज बाबू वर्तमान कहउथिले दिस इज ए वेरी गुड पॉलिसी जोटा को इंडिया रो कस्टम्स ट्रेडिशंस वैल्यूज ऊपर आधारित बहुत सुंदर पॉलिसी बहुत लोकंकर व्यूज लिया जाईची. It is Indian in character. If we successfully implement the national education policy, India will be a Vishwaguru. यदि हमें सुंदर भाव में implement करिबा ताले इंडिया निश्चित उठे विश्वगुरु होबो. मेजर रिकमेंडेशंस कथा हम टीचर एजुकेशन कथा हमें पहुंचे नेशनल पॉलिसी कहूँ 2030 पर स्टैंड अलोन टीचर स्टैंड अलोन माने कोन जो केवल B.Ed प्रोग्राम दिया जाए मे नॉट कंटिन्यू बंद करबा कथा कहै जाय मे नॉट कंटिन्यू किंतु आमे इंटीग्रेटेड टीचर एजुकेशन प्रोग्राम पर मेजर एम्फासिस दिया जिवो हम राज्य सरकार मध्य मेजर एम्फासिस दउचंती आ देखिबो इन फ्यूचर पिला माने जो माने टीचर हेकि बाहरबे 2 इयर्स B.Ed प्रोग्राम बेसी दिन हुए त न कंटिन्यू करि पारे इंटीग्रेटेड टीचर एजुकेशन ऊपर मेजर एम्फासिस दिया आ वर्तमान जो टीचर्स माने आसुचंती स्कूल रे हम देखिबा ब्रिलियंट टीचर्स आर एंटरिंग इनटू द टीचिंग प्रोफेशन मो तांको साथे इंट्रोडक्शन करिछि हैविंग ब्रिलियंट एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड दउचंती देखंतु आपण प्रिलिमिनरी टेस्ट दउचंती मेन परीक्षा दउचंती सीटीटी ओटीटी क्वालिफाई करूचंती देन दे आर बीइंग अपॉइंटेड एज टीचर्स तो बहुत भलो पिला लक्ष्य पिला को भितरु 2000 पिला B.Ed एंट्रेंस क्वालिफाई करथुन ता भितरु 80 100 200 पिला रहथुन तेनु आमे भलो पिला पाउजे भलो स्टाफ अछंती केवल बेसी समय कंटिन्यू करिबि नै जदि आमे क्वालिटी टीचर एजुकेशन कथा कहूचे all the teacher educators must go to class with full preparation all the students must continue their studies sincerely शिक्षक माने भलो भाबरे पढाइबे पिला माने भलो भाबरे पढिबे ए जो आमे देखुचे पंखा लाइट होय तो एठी थाई पारे गां स्कूल को जतो आमे जिबा विल ओनली गेट ए ब्लैक बोर्ड एंड चक ता पय मेंटली आमे प्रिपेयर्ड होबा वर्तमान बहुत स्कूल्स अछि जोटी की 5टा क्लास गोटे किबा 2टा टीचर आमे क्वालिटी कथा कहूचे जदि सब क्लास पय गोटे गोटे टीचर अपॉइंटमेंट पाते एटलीस्ट क्वालिटी रे निश्चित इंप्रूवमेंट होता गवर्नमेंट स्टेपिंग स्टेप्स हम तो क्रिटिसाइज करबा गले बहुत दिन क्रिटिसिज्म करियो किंतु गवर्नमेंट बहुत स्टेप्स नउचंती आ आमे आशा करूछु फ्यूचर ऑफ टीचर एजुकेशन निश्चित होला थैंक यू वेरी मच थैंक यू नाउ वी आर इनवाइटिंग क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम आवर स्टूडेंट्स स्टूडेंट मानन को उठारो हमें क्वेश्चंस इनवाइट करछि पढ़ले फोन ता करियंतु आराम रे ओडिया रे इंग्लिश रे पचार कोई में ओडिया रे कहली आपन तो सहित भलो भाबरे में इंटरेक्शन करि पारि
Hello sir. Give me regards to all the dignitaries and all other present over here. Sir, I have two questions, very simple general questions and important questions. Am I audible?
You are asking to specifically somebody or to the
Sir, in general I am asking.
Go ahead.
introduce yourself tell your name
Sir, I am B. Satyaranjan, B.Ed second year. So my first question is, to what extent the recommendations of NEP is applied to private institutions? And secondly, I am asking, is there any constitutional guidelines for institutions? Is there any constitutional guidelines for institutions to abide or follow it? If not, if any institution deviates from this.
you are asking question in the context of teacher education
Yes,
or
sir.
school
No, sir. In school,
in general
in general school and all.
acha okay
If any institution deviates from following the guidelines.
डिस्क्रिमिनेशन कहा पाई नहीं किंतु गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन ऊपर जहाँ गवर्नमेंट रो जति कंट्रोल हो प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशन ऊपर सेते कंट्रोल नहीं किंतु प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशन मध्य रूल्स रेगुलेशंस को अवॉइड करिया को पड़ी नंबर 1 रिगार्डिंग योर सेकंड क्वेश्चन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल गाइडलाइंस हम जदि स्कूल एजुकेशन कथा इफ वी गो टू आर्टिकल 45 ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन the article says that the state shall endeavor to provide free and compulsory education to all children belonging to the age group of 6 to 14 within 10 years from the commencement of the constitution ओडिया रे कहै छी constitution frame होबार 10 वर्ष भितरे समस्त विद्यालय रे पिला मानकु 6 रु 14 वर्ष पिला जते अछंती से मानकु फ्री और कंपलसरी प्राइमरी एजुकेशन दबा कथा constitution was framed in the year 1950 target थिला by take within 10 years mean by 1960 आमे 74 वर्ष हैला 75 वर्ष पछिला we have not been able to achieve the goal वर्तमान नुआ ट्रेंड नॉट 6 रु 18 6 रु 14 को आउ 3 रु 18 वर्ष भितरे सबु पिला विद्यालय को आसीबा दरकार 3 वर्षर पिला मध्य विद्यालय को जीव नले से क्लास 1 पढि पारे 6 वर्ष त एडमिशन रही परिबनी 3 वर्ष पिला कोन किछि पेरेंट्स अछंती कोन 2 वर्ष छुआ मध्य जाऊ कोठी प्ले स्कूल वी आर सेंडिंग पेरेंट्स कॉन्शियस रे गवर्नमेंट मध्य कॉन्शियस अछंती तेणु आमे वर्तमान जो कोइ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन एससी एसटी को पाई मध्य कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन अछि आर्टिकल 46 जदि आपण पढिबे ता ऊपर दिया जाईछि एम्फासिस दिया जाईछि मदर टंग ऊपर एम्फासिस दिया जाईछि नुआ एजुकेशन पॉलिसी कथा जदि कहिबा बहुत स्टेट ताको इंप्लीमेंट करलेनी आउ जो स्टेट इंप्लीमेंट करि नांती इन नियर फ्यूचर सब स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ताको इंप्लीमेंट करिवो प्राइवेट वाला आपण जो कहउछि प्राइवेट वाला मानिबे कि न मानिबे निश्चित मानिबे होत के डेरी हेइ पारे समस्त मानिबे से प्राइवेट वाला मध्य 3 वर्ष पिला को एडमिशन करिवे गवर्नमेंट वाला मध्य 3 वर्ष रे अपॉइंटमेंट करिवे प्राइवेट वाला देखुते जे टीचर कम दरमा होतते विदाउट B.Ed डिग्री से माने अपॉइंटमेंट दउते किंतु आजिकल कॉन्शियस हेलेनी से माने मध्य B.Ed थिबा डिग्री पिला हां हां आज टीचर तेणु हमर जो नुआ पॉलिसी कहि बहुत भलो जिंस कहिछि तम क्वेश्चंस मध्य बहुत भलो तेणु हमर जो सजेशंस होछि ये जो पॉलिसी में रिकमेंडेशंस बोथ प्राइवेट को और गवर्नमेंट कितना जगह रे अछि जोटी प्राइवेट माने मानना कार्ड को आमे गवर्नमेंट पैसा दो हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हमर किंतु गवर्नमेंट मध्य स्ट्रिक्ट विजिलेंट अछि ताको ऊपर मध्य जो माने आकू न मानिबे ड्रास्टिक एक्शन माइट बी टेकन अगेंस्ट दोज इंस्टीट्यूशन वेरी गुड आउ के प्रश्न पचारे
एटा के मो पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस पचारथिम जदर हम गोल्ड इंस्टीट्यूशन ले थी किछ मास में
को स्कूल को
से गोटे प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशन
ना को आई वाज इन को
से आई डोंट वांट टू स्पेसिफाई
नो प्रॉब्लम
से मते किछ मास परे मो पिला जे माने बुझी पारନ୍ତି नै एक्चुअली से माने को ओडिया रे ट्राई करी बुझिया पई जोटा पई मो काउंटर अटैक कराई
स्कूल से माने के
से स्कूल मतलब से गोटे इंस्टीट्यूशन था
ओके ओके नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन
थैंक यू सर
here one question from ladies girls please ask
I want to ask good afternoon to all teachers and this is Suman Sampati from B.Ed second year. I want to ask two questions. One is what is the status of sex education in NEP 2020 and what is as we know during the teenage they go through many anxiety problem and mental health issues due to very much academic pressure and so much their biological
पिला माने जानि चंती शिक्षक पढेबे एथरे शिक्षक जमा लाज करबा कथा नुहे पिला मानकर जहा प्रश्न अछि से माने मध्य पचारि पारिबे ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ସେକ୍ସ ଏଜୁକେସନ ବୋଲି କହିଲେ ଏ ନ୍ୟୁ କନସେପ୍ଟ ଇଜ ଆଡୋଲେସେନ୍ସ ଏଜୁକେସନ ଆଉ ପୁରା ପେପର ପୁରା ଅଛି ଗ୍ରୋଥ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ଚାଇଲ୍ଡହୁଡ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଗ୍ରୋଇଂ ଅପ୍ ପିଲାଟା ଛୋଟରୁ ବଡ଼ କେମିତି ହେବ ହଁ ନା ନାହିଁ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟେସ୍ ନାଇଁ ସେ ପିଲାର ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଭଲ ଥିଲା
ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ସେଠି କହୁଛି ସେମାନେ let us now learn about history ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ସେମାନେ ଶିଖିବେ। ପ୍ରଥମେ ତାର ଗୋଟେ ବର୍ଷ ପଢାଗଲା ଖାଲି ସବୁ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ୱାର୍ଲଡ ୱାର ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ they will learn English, they will learn mathematics, they will learn science। ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ୱାର୍ଲଡ ୱାରରେ କୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ସବୁ ପ୍ଲେନ ଫ୍ଲାଇଟ ୟୁଜ ହଉଥିଲା, କଣ ସେଥିରେ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଥିଲା, ସେଗୁଡା ଦେ ଷ୍ଟଡି ସେମାନେ ପିଲାମାନେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବେ ଷ୍ଟଡି ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବେ। ଦେ ଲର୍ନ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କହିନି ତ ମ୍ୟାଥମେଟିକ୍ସ ବା ସାଇନ୍ସ ପଢଉନି, ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କହୁଛି ପ୍ଲେନ ଫ୍ଲାଇଟ କେମିତି ଯାଉଛି, କେମିତି ତିଆରି ହେଇଛି, କେମିତି ସେଇଟା ସେମାନେ ପଢିବେ। ସେତେବେଳେ କେମିତି ସବୁ ପଲିଟିକାଲ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଥିଲା, ପଲିଟିକାଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ଆସିଥିଲା, କୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଥିଲା, ମାନେ କନଭରସେସନ ହଉଥିଲା ସେଠି ସବୁ ନେତାମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ, କିଏ କେମିତି କହୁଥିଲା, ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ଆସିବ। ତେଣୁ ଇନ୍ ଦିସ୍ ୱେ ଦେ ଷ୍ଟଡିଡ। ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କୁହାଯାଉଛି ତମେ ପଢ ମ୍ୟାଥମେଟିକ୍ସ ପଢ, ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ସାଇନ୍ସ ପଢା ହଉଥିଲା କିନ୍ତୁ ଥ୍ରୋ ଦି second world war। So in this way we are just starting to we have started to know that it is a departure. No, it is not departure, it was flexible, it was student oriented, and we have to follow this in this system 2020 policy that has been given importance। Thank you for the nice questions, and it is also in our mind। So mo madhya thila madhya mo jata
ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟିଏ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ସାର୍ ତ ବଢିଆ କରି କହିଲେ।
thank you।
ଭାରତରେ ଟିଚର ଏଜୁକେସନ ଏକ୍ସକ୍ଲୁସିଭ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଅଛି ଜାଣିଛ? ଜାଣିଛ? ଏକ୍ସକ୍ଲୁସିଭ 5ଟା ପାଖାପାଖି ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଅଛି। ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଅଫ ଟିଚର ଏଜୁକେସନ ୱେଷ୍ଟ ବେଙ୍ଗଲରେ ଅଛି, ଆଉ ତାମିଲନାଡୁରେ ଅଛି, ବହୁତ ଜାଗାରେ 5ଟା ପାଖାପାଖି ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଅଛି। ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଟିଚର ଏଜୁକେସନ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ହେଇପାରେ ଇନ୍ ନିୟର ଫ୍ୟୁଚର। ମେଡିକାଲ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ଗୋଟେ ଖୋଲିଛି ଜାଣିଛ? ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଖୋଲିଛି ମେଡିକାଲ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି, କଲଚର ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଅଛି, ସାଂସ୍କ୍ରିଟ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଅଛି, ଲ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଅଛି, ଓଡ଼ିଆ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି, ବହୁତ ନୂଆ ନୂଆ ଜିନିଷ ଆସୁଛି। ତେଣୁ ସାର୍ ଆମର ଯାହା କହିଲେ, ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ରାଡିସନାଲ ସିଷ୍ଟମରେ ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ହଉ ଇନଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ଥିଲା, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ସିଷ୍ଟମେଟାଇଜ କରୁଛେ ନୂଆ ସିଷ୍ଟମରେ। ତେଣୁ ନୂଆ ସିଷ୍ଟମ କଥା ଯଦି ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା, ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ହଉଛି। ଯୋଉ ଆମେ କହିଲେ 2 ବର୍ଷିଆ କୋର୍ସ ହବ, ମଲ୍ଟିଡିସିପ୍ଲିନାରୀ କୋର୍ସ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହବ, ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ଟିଚର ଏଜୁକେସନ ଇନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନ ରହିବ ନାହିଁ, ଇଣ୍ଟର୍ନସିପ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ ବଢେଇବା, ଟ୍ୟାଲେଣ୍ଟେଡ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଟିଚିଂ ପ୍ରଫେସନକୁ ଆମେ ଡାକୁଛେ, ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଜିନିଷ ଆମେ ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡ୍ୟୁସ କରୁଛେ। ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ଆସୁଛି, କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ପାଇଁ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ଗୁଡାକ ଆସିବା ନିହାତି ଦରକାର। ଯଦି ପିଲା ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଆମେ ରାଗୁତା ଟିଚର ବା ଡୋମିନେଟିଂ ଦି ହୋଲ କ୍ଲାସ, ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ପିଲା ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ଜାଣିଛି, ପିଲା ନିଜେ କ୍ରିଏଟ କରୁ, 5P ମଡେଲ ଲେସନ ପ୍ଲାନ କରୁଥିବ ନା କନସେପ୍ଟ ଆପ୍ରୋଚରେ, ଆମେ କ'ଣ ପିଲାକୁ ଖାଲି ପଢେଇ ଚାଲିଛେ? ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ଅପରଚ୍ୟୁନିଟି ଦଉଛେ, ସେମାନେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବେ। ଭେରି ଗୁଡ୍ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ସ। ଆଉ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ପଚାରନ୍ତୁ ପିଲା, ପଚାର।
नमस्कार सर, मो ज्ञानांजलि पात्र फ्रॉम B.Ed सेकेंड ईयर। तो जेंति टॉपिक थिला मीटिंग रो कि पास्ट फ्यूचर, पास्ट प्रेजेंट एंड फ्यूचर ऑफ टीचर एजुकेशन। सर 2012 रे वर्मा कमिशन रिपोर्ट देथिले कि 10,000 अधिक करप्टेड इंस्टीट्यूशन अछि जो माने कि बिना कोनसी ट्रेनिंग रे सर्टिफिकेट दे दोचंती इन रिलेटेड टू टीचर एजुकेशन। सेटा थिला पास्ट। सर मु केबे कहली 2012 आ आज 2025 गोटे भी एमती किछि न्यूज़ बाहर छि कि जे ए करप्टेड इंस्टीट्यूशन धरा पड़छि अगेंस्ट टीचर एजुकेशन। नो सर, दिस इज द प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो। सर बहुत कम थिबा जो 10,000 काम करले मे भी गोटे इंस्टीट्यूशन थिबा, गोटे जस्टिस सर से ऑलरेडी की डाटा थाई कि मध्य से उडी रिपोर्ट दैछंती ता अगेंस्ट रे मध्य कोनोसी एक्शन आखि दृश्य निया जायनी। आ प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन सर हमें देखु छु कोन सिस्टम रे चालू छी एंड फ्यूचर हमें सब बड़ा कहू सर कि पास्ट को नै कि हमें फ्यूचर रे देखिबा। तो ए पास्ट को नै कि हम फ्यूचर केते डायरेक्शन करबा ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टीचर एजुकेशन।
अच्छा, who told you action has not been taken?
सर
How do you know that?
सर I did not get
How do you know that action, no action has been taken against
because sir
those direct institutions?
sorry but some of my friends also doing that.
Just practical example is our Odisha. In Odisha in 2020-21 year there was no admission. NCT has withdrawn almost all the recognition from almost all the training colleges.
Yes
This is
sir,
the example.
sorry sir, break your words.
Hey.
Recognition I got
Yes,
sir.
similarly,
ଟିକେ ଶୁଣନ୍ତୁ ସାର୍ ଯାହା କହିଲେ ମୁଁ ମଧ୍ୟ ସପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟ କରୁଛି।
in other
ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ
states,
ଇନଷ୍ଟିଚ୍ୟୁସନ କଥା ଛାଡ଼ି ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, ओडिशा रो गवर्नमेंट कॉलेजेस गुडा को बंद कर दिया गला एडमिशन पाई 2 वर्ष बाद बहुत रिक्वेस्ट करे 5-6 टी अनुष्ठान चलिला से स्टाफ मान को एठी दबा क्वालिटी निश्चित इंप्रूव कर some of the substandard teacher education institution have been closed substandard teacher education institution बंद कर दिया जाय छी प्राइवेट B.Ed डिग्री ओडिशा रे जमा दिया जाउनी
If I may add one sentence to answer that, Professor P.C. Agarwal was here, the principal of RI, and during his address he mentioned one of the main objectives of ITP is to target those muscular B.Ed colleges so that they cannot just distribute certificate without doing any substantial work, and entrusting multidisciplinary institutions to provide training certificate only, teacher education certificate only. That is one of the main objectives. When the teacher education will be entrusted to only recognized and nice kind of institutions, not any institution where there is no recognition, there nothing like that. So it would be a good control. They cannot just distribute certificates like that, and only recognized and reputed institutions will be providing teacher education. That is what he has mentioned.
अधिकांश पिला बर्तमान ओडिशा रो आंध्र जाय कि सब रेगुलरी करछन्ते एमे गोटे चेंज हेछि आपण सुनिथिबे आंध्र जो माने जाउछन्ती से माने खाली माने एडमिशन करते कि पैसा देके डिग्री लम ना से माने से जीवा पड़ुछि क्लास करबा पड़ुछि लेसन पैसा सब होछि
please maintain discipline ये चुप है बस
किछि अनुष्ठान चेंज हेछि
अरे चेंज है चेंज किछड़ा
କହିଲି ଆगे बिना प्रूफ रे करबा आपण तो बहुत जण चापो पर प्लीज तमे जाउछो हमें जो खुशी देला जे किछि बिना आपको थिले सिस्टम सेमती थिला बिना माने आपने कोन कोन क्लास रे बिना टीचिंग रे बिना परीक्षा रे काट सर्टिफिकेट तरीका एबे किछ परीक्षा तो तुम करते लेसन पर से सबमिट कर दोने नहीं किछि क्लास रे रहबा को परीक्षा रहबा को कोन बात कराउछि किछि दिन चेंज आछे ना अरे ना काई कर से एनसीबी तो रेस्ट्रिक्शन पड़ता है ना बुझ पड़ते कि नहीं चेंजेस आसुची वे तो फ्यूचर रे और चेंजेस आछिबो माने वी शुड नॉट बी कंप्लीटली नेगेटिव हमें ने एते बहुत एरिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन दिला तो किछु नथला नहीं हमें कोन हमें जे ओडिशा को गवर्नमेंट के अछि कोन सब्जेक्ट शूटिंग चलछि एते भी अछि एते भी डिफेक्ट अछि बुझ पड़ते कि नहीं तेणु माने एटा को सबुबले हमें नेगेटिव दबानी किछि चेंजेस पड़े लेट अस बी ओपन
Esteemed chairperson and panelists, dignitaries of the dais, my dear students. Actually, the question raised by a dear student, Jananjali, pertinent the question, and it is being evident that after 12 years, students from Odisha go outside and they purchase the degree. Even so far now it is being decreased, but 2 to 3 years back, so far demand ratio is concerned in our state, so far the demand of teachers is concerned and the production is concerned, it is gap is very huge. You are out of 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh students appear the interview, entrance test, qualified entrance, and out of 1 lakh you are only 2,000. In comparison to Odisha, in other states, It is not so like that. Because of there are private institutions. In our state, only government institutions. So a proposal may be sent from our side to government. Seat may be increased. Seats of B.Ed seats should be increased, or else we Guru Vinara Orojuna can't buy Sakatya. School to hai, but teacher nahi. So how can we expect quality education? Many schools are there. Multiple schools classes are there. Multi-graded classes are there. So that's why it is very essential to increase the seats. Thank you so much.
हां जहां दिलीप कहले पिला मान को क्वेश्चन तो बहुत बढ़िया थिला ताको क्वेश्चन के प्रश्न पचार थिले ज्ञानांजलि बहुत सुंदर क्वेश्चन क्वालिटी गोटाय होची कंटीन्यूअस प्रोसेस आज जो मोबाइल फोन भी तमे यूज करूछ 2 वर्ष परे सेटा सेही अपडेट हेइ न आउरी चेंज हो पारा चिठी नै कि जाउला वर्तमान हमें व्हाट्सएप रे मेसेज पठो मेनी चेंजेस विल कम चेंज होउची हमरो काहे कि हमरो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को मु तो धन्यवाद देबी हमें क्वालिटी मेंटेन करके ओनली गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन डिमांड जेतु बढ़िला बहुत गुडा इंस्टीट्यूशन रे वर्तमान गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज रे सेल्फ फाइनेंस मध्ये आरंभ होइछि सोळवाळा कॉलेज हेछि रमादेवी रे हेछि रेवेन्सा रे हेछि अलगा जगह रे हेछि बहुत जगह रे तेनु नंबर का किछि बढ़ा जाई किंतु बढ़ेबा पई एनसीटी हमें बढ़ेबा एनसीटी परीक्षण दब तो जदि परीक्षण दब स्टाफ जदि अधिकार में बढ़ा जाई परिबो हमें मध्ये सजेशन देइछु मु मध्ये गोटा दिटा कमेंट करछ हम सजेशन देइछु जे जो ट्रेनिंग कॉलेज रे 100 सीट अछि जदि अधिका स्टाफ सेठी अछंती सीट माइट बी इंक्रीज किंतु ता पई एनसीटी वर्तमान बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट बीजेपी कॉलेज भलिया कॉलेज को गत वर्ष आईटीबी काटि देले ए वर्ष किछि कॉलेजेस अप्लाई करिसंती वे तो मिली पारे एनसीटी बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट वर्तमान तेणु जो प्रकार क्वालिटी डिटोरेट करथिला वर्तमान एनसीटी स्ट्रिक्ट विजिलेंट होते हां केते गुडा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट माने अलाउ करथि ना हम स्टेट गवर्नमेंट अलाउ करूना हमर जो पिला माने तम भलिया पिला बाहर जंती ब्रिलियंट टू ब्रिलियंट स्टूडेंट जे पिला माने को ताली देइबा दरकार निया समस्त चाकरी करिवो आ आगो को बढ़िया जगह रे आगो हम जोटा समझ Thank you very much. Please.
Okay.
That is last question. Please.
Good afternoon to all the teachers and my fellow student teachers over here. I will ask my question in a brief. Sir, you have mentioned in NEP 2020 there has been mention about various holistic development approaches in the POROC and holistic progress card. There are many modifications going on in school education. We are going to graduate in this year. We are going to take admission to join another school or college somewhere. So for the teacher education in institutions, there are going to be development. But for in-service teachers, is there going to be any improvement or modifications in their training program so that they can address all these modifications that are happening all at once after a long period of time? There are many teachers who are.
हमें तम क्वेश्चन बाबू बुझिलु से कहबा कथा स्कूल एजुकेशन रे एते बडा नुवा जिनिस करा जाय जो टीचर्स हु आर वर्किंग इन हाई स्कूल्स और प्राइमरी स्कूल्स तांको पाई क्वालिटी रे किछि परिवर्तन हेछि टेक्स्ट बुक रो रिवीजन हेछि सेमान को 5T रे ट्रेनिंग दिया जाय छि केमिति पाठ पढेबे 5T रे प्लस मझिरे ओसेपा आउ हमर एससीआरटी मध्ये सेमान पे टीचर ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम मध्ये करछन तेरो इमीडिएट आमे कहबा सब जिनिस चेंज होउछि नुहे किंतु चेंज होउछि सेमान को मध्ये मझिरे ट्रेनिंग दिया जाउछि आपण देखिबे स्कूल टीचर को पचारंतु सेमान को एते ट्रेनिंग हमको दिया जाउछि हम पाठ पढेबे समय तांको मध्ये ओरिएंट करा जाउछि तमे माने मध्ये ओरिएंट हबो किछि दिन गला हमें मध्ये ओरिएंट ही कॉलेज लेक्चरर्स में मध्ये अछि ओरिएंटेशन रिफ्रेशर प्रोसेस कारण समस्त को पाई दुआ जिनिसर आवश्यकता अछि तेणु तमर जो बहुत रेलेवेंट गवर्नमेंट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट आपे स्टेप नउचंती आ टीचर मान को ट्रेनिंग दिया जाउछि थैंक यू वेरी मच प्लीज कंक्लूड प्लीज
NEP has made the provision of 40 hours of teacher development program compulsory
50 hours
every year for a teacher. Okay, that was a beautiful discussion and eager discussion, I would say, on a much needed topic at this present time.
I have attended many seminars in many colleges, many institutions in the state, outside the state. But the atmosphere which I see here, I have never seen. Very good discussion. So, very qualitative seminar. If this kind of seminars will be organized everywhere, surely it will enhance the quality of the seminar. I have seen many seminars, only some will come, जो start होगा तो 10 टा आरंभ होगा 12 टा बेलू घंटे पर खाइयो पळेले तापरे कोन टिके प्रेजेंट करबे दिन दिन मास सेम दिएला but ours is qualitative, so thanks for students and the organizers. You have done it very well to the best of my satisfaction, and thank you all.
प्रिंसिपल को कोऑर्डिनेटर कन्वेनर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी जॉइंट ऑर्गेनाइजिंग धन्यवाद दउची टाइम किस माने स्टिक करछ हमर ये जो पैनल डिस्कशन हैला सुंदर पैनल डिस्कशन हैची अब सबटा भल लागला पिला माने प्रश्न पचारिछन एमबीपी ऊपर मत अवेयर अछि मोर नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ऊपर तीनटा कहि you can see it in Google रे देखि परिबो गोटाय रिलीज होउची 28 तारिख रे मध्ये भंजनगर कॉलेज रे सेमिनार होउची मो सब स्टाफ को निमंत्रण करछि स्टूडेंट्स आर आल्सो इनवाइटेड टू कम थैंक यू
Okay, let me quickly conclude this session. It was a beautiful discussion as you are witnessing, and during the discussion, I also have recorded many questions, history, but I reserved my questions for the time being because of paucity of time. Probably I may get in touch with the speakers personally for my answers, or I may search for the answers personally. That is the process. That was the intention actually, and I reserve these questions as my takeaway, my parcel. That was the intention. You will go back home with some questions, some answers. That was the intention of this panel discussion. Beautiful. Okay, so we have a little deviation. We had a speaker who was due to speak tomorrow, but because of some changes, he would be speaking today because he is not available tomorrow. So we will be spending another 10 minutes here, and after that we will split into other groups. The speaker is Professor Sambit Kumar Pari. He is the head Department of Education, Guru Ghansdas University, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. We welcome him.
University Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh.
सारंग माइक्रोफोन का दिया
Great. Extremely thankful for your nice and wonderful introductions. We will connect digitally, but I need to think that the hearts of Govt B.Ed training college is somehow associated with my mind and heart. Am I audible, friends? Yes, sir. First of all, Honorable Principal, the Vice of Govt B.Ed Training College, Kandhamal,
academic colleagues, Professor Purnachandra Behera, a great and renowned educationist, one of my elder. Friends, am I audible? Hello? Hello? Hello, sir. Yeah. Professor Purnachandra Behera, so a great educationist, my elder brother, my younger brothers and sisters, a faculty member of Govt B.Ed Training College Kalinga, and the new and novel teachers of the future India, ladies and gentlemen. It is really worth an honor and pleasure being a part of such a wonderful academic event where we are academically connect from Uttarakhand and top of the Arunachal Pradesh to the down line of the Kerala. Friends, I must congratulate the moving well, the principal of the college, who its idea, dynamic leadership, vibrant management, and the entire team, this account of which we were able to meet both in digital and physically to express our random thoughts, to exchange our ideas, and to discuss in terms of question and answer. May I request friends to mute yourself. Before beginning my presentation, again I salute all my elders, renowned educationists, students, and those who are really concerned to get something out of new and national education policy. Friends, it is really relevant and the right kind of topic in the right time and for the right type of students. You all are no doubt new in your experience, but have a lot of understanding. So what kind of schools you are aspiring by your future learners, and what kind of schools you had in your school times? The topic itself signifies the changing paradigm of teacher education in the light of national education policy. I randomly ask again and again the questions whether national education is first, would be followed by teacher education, or teacher education would be followed by national education policy. Yes, friends, there are multiple options, there are different arguments, there are a lot of deliberation and discussions. But I must salute the idea of Bharat, the policy which is really new, and that national education policy will be documented, will be discussed, being a selfish person in the light of teacher education. Friends, if you ask me where the idea of national education policy came, so what were the source of inspiration? What are the source generation of national education policy? Who was talking about the national education policy? I must respond to your question that we have to go back to the sustainable development goal, and which must be achieved by 2030. And one of the sustainable goal is sustainable development goal, which is truly committed and dedicated to provide true education and quality education of our children, not only for the school, but also for the higher education and our professional education. And if you ask me to narrate, definitely I must have a kind of operationalization of sustainable development goal. So it always ensures inclusive, equitable, quality education and lifelong learning opportunity for all. Really, the conceptual brief in my presentation that how sustainable development goal ideas are calculated in the national education policy. Friends, if you look into any system of education, I definitely understand the primary of any kind of education is nothing but the primary school. And the higher of any education system is no doubt the higher education in terms of professional education, liberal arts, technical education, and all sorts of humanities and social science. And you do have certain fundamental questions before the audience. And the moment we talk about the education is primary, so what is the next of primary education? And if we blame the primary education, and if we think that we need to reset, we need to rejuvenate, we need to restructure our primary education, then what type of issues, what type of components are there so that our primary education is not yet been successful, even if we got freedom in 1947. But I understand, friends, we received freedom. And during we got freedom, to what extent we had freedom in our education? And after 75 years, we have lot and lot of restriction in the system of education. And in order to break the monotony, you have to break the rigidity, you have to break the conservativeness, you have to make the education become flexible and multiple. So now we have a wonderful document in terms of national education policy, and that can be really focused to make teacher become a guru, become a creator and constructor of knowledge. And if our primary aim to sustain the school education, and definitely I understand that the one Vishwakarma, who is nothing but the teacher, and if teacher can create, if the teacher can construct and destruct like an atom bomb little by a fat man in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then what kind of transformation we can bring in the system of teacher education? And it is the intent, the content, the description, and the prescription of national education policy is quite concrete. Once you go to the national education policy of 66 pages of documents, there are repeated time talking about what will be the nature, structure, nomenclature of teacher education in terms of curriculum, in terms of pedagogy, in terms of management, in terms of administration, and in terms of assessment and evaluation, in terms of extension and management services. Friends, we all are ready to create the future teachers. And why we are creating future teachers? If the future teachers are not in a position to meet the need, aspiration of the society, then we think we are not moving in the right line. We have to look at it. We have to make a self-introspection in this connection. So, first of all, we need to establish a good linkage between the school education and teacher education system. We are teaching something in the pre-service, as a content of pre-service, but we are being a pre-service teacher. But the moment we will be appointed as in-service teacher, and the curriculum, the syllabus, the pedagogy is completely different, the expectation of the schools are different. The school readiness is really a great question now. In order to make our schools ready, I understand that our teacher education system must make our future teachers become ready. Then we all are the educationists sitting here. So we have to little closely analyze. So what kind of things needs to be addressed through this forum? And if you ask me, friends, the country like India, so there are n number of issues. And friends, this is not the time to discuss about the issue, rather to discuss about the strength. We need not to identify the disability of the students, rather to discuss about the ability of the teachers. We need not to talk about the limitation of the teacher education institution, but we can talk about the opportunity in the teacher education institutions. We have to always be optimistic in our attitude. So, whatever existing system we have, first of all, it is the mundane responsibility and accountability of the teacher educators like us to analyze, to identify what kind of changes we can bring inside so that we are having a quality school and we are having the quality learner in upcoming days. A very common what it is rightly said that you can create everybody, but it is difficult to create a great teacher. And teaching is such a profession which creates all professions. So in order to be a either you to be a great professor, or you may be a vice principal, you may be a small primary school teacher, but always we need to have a thorough mentoring, and it must be mentored through a great book and a great teacher educator. So by converging all the ideas, I understand that our teacher education institution must work in this line, and we should start from the language components itself. Because I understand that friends, language is a knowledge capital, and it is very common observations. The interesting researches signifies neither the students nor the teacher understand one another because the language of teacher is completely different than their students. So neither student understand the teacher nor teacher understand their students. I have remembered one of the great quote. The teacher is a great teacher is thinking that I am one of the best teacher. So I am teaching everything. So my student must understand me. The moment he asks a question to students, have you understood? Have you grasped what I taught? This smart student standing and sitting, sir, I do not able to understand a single line, but I understand your symbol. Then teacher is asking, so what could I have been done so that you can understand me? The submissively, the obedient student speaking, sir, you talk in such a way that you talk in my language that so that you understand my spirit so that I can understand your lecture. So language plays a great role. I understand. Diversity is the beauty of Bharat. But still, if possible, if we can able to express our ideas in different, at least in more than one language, and automatically it would be a kind of neurons for the students, and so that you can get a different kind of experiences. Students have their own expression, and students will develop the kind of motivation to understand you. This is my first submission of the next. This is my first submission to all my new, novel, and respected teachers. The first thing we have to develop understanding, reading, listening, and speaking in more than one language, friends. It never makes it inferior. It is a matter of Swabiman. I understand that. Still, if we can speak, so it would be able to understand the ideas, feeling, emotion of a small child who is not in a position to be very conversant in the language of teacher. So, friends, so the upcoming teacher need to modify fast, and it is the warrant of the national education policy. We need to have multi proficient in our language. And whatever you have, friends, do you think that many of my audience students are sitting here? So if I start on speaking in Telugu, if I start on speaking in Malayali, if I start speaking Assamese, to what extent you can draw your attention to me? No doubt, 99% of the time, 99% of the students used to sleep in the class when teacher is not conversant with the language of the teacher, language of the students. So, this is my first submission. Through this, I am going to pass this message through this And this is the time we need to understand the need and aspiration of the students. Where our schools are ready to provide such kind of facility to our students. Then if not, in what form, in what situation, in what context we can bring change in our school system, that would be one of the another areas to be thought of. And we all are educated enough. We understand that a program is incomplete without having the sound curriculum. Friends, curriculum is not simply the material written, in terms of content. So curriculum is nothing but the totality of experiences. What the students not only experience inside the classroom, but also in and outside of this classroom in a holistic manner. And we need to understand the problems of the students. Many of the students are not coming to school regularly. But can I teacher being a teacher? Am I in a position to identify why my students are not coming to the school regularly? Simply we see that the attendance is low, gross enrollment stagnation is more, attendance stagnation is more. So in order to understand the student why not coming up to the class school, there are n number of situations we have to understand. So students may be having certain kind of disability. Students are having certain kind of mental issues. Students are having certain kind of economic problems. Students are having certain kind of social discrimination. If we would like to make the students to school, if you like to make the students your school to become a home, being a prospective teacher, we need to behave like a mother. Here, mother does not belong to a gender. Rather, we need to have a connection between a teacher and student like a mother and son or daughter. If I do not understand what is the feeling and emotion of a student will never be encouraged to come to this school. You always think that it is the ultimate punishment. And if we do such kind of thing, students always think that it is my second home. So can any students have experienced such kind of thing? Have any teacher who are sitting here have experienced such a kind of discrimination? Yes, definitely. Many a time we are not in a position to express, and many a times it is visible in terms of product. Friends, if you like to bring if you like to enhance and harness the quality and quantity of school, first is attendance, first is quantity, which must be followed by quality. The national education policy is talking about 100% enrollment. But very few number of researchers, the interesting researchers say that the attendance is always concentrated on the data. So it is always in terms of quantification. There was no qualitative researches about why attendance is low. So why students are not thinking that this is their second home? Friends, this is the time we need to not to identify the disability. Rather, we have to identify what are the abilities of the students. Being the teacher, we need to recognize the unique strength, potentialities, abilities, magnitude of each student. And accordingly, we have to guide them so that students think that so without the supervision of a teacher, so my career may not be my career journey would be incomplete. So it is my earnest request to all the students sitting in the August gathering. So you raise your hands. So can we do at least something for the child? Just after the appointment, either in Navodaya Vidyalaya or in Kandhamal Vidyalaya or in Eklavya Residential Model School or in Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya. Yes, I understand that. The national education policy is not a quantified document. Rather, the values, the ethics, the understanding integrated inside, it must be reflected through our tutor teacher. And being the Indian and being the Indian components in the national education policy, if we go to the page number 42 of the national education policy, the first point is we need to have such kind of teacher education, so which can create a pool of teachers who have sound in their Indian values, tradition, ethnicity, cultures, and hence anything that whatever curriculum we are having, you may have an analysis or a small analysis.
Please continue.
Many times the teacher must be ready. If our presentation is not working, then we need to be conversant in this field. So we have been focusing on the curriculum. So it is my small observation is that so our teacher education curriculum must be connected and integrated and must be created by looking to the need of students. So what is the need of school education? School education require the fitness of the children. Unless and until my child is fit, how can he come to the school? So unless and until my child is mentally happy, so why he should come to the school? So in this connection, there must be certain components in my teacher education curriculum, so that my students who have been qualified after B.Ed or who have been coming out from the B.Ed, they have to have the idea, they have to have the parameters of understanding whether my student is fit or not, whether my student is ready to listen to you or not. So that requires the psychology, that requires the science, that requires the philosophizing, the education. I am simultaneously putting so many examples. So why our schools are not successful and why our schools are successful? If you ask me to respond to such question, friends, definitely I can say. So one and only one centrifugal force is nothing but a teacher. A school is none for its teacher. A school is also none for its teachers. And our students will be the ambassadors. So it is my submission that whatever curriculum we are having, in every alternative hours we are having different curriculum. Definitely, I must salute the saints. And saints is the only unchanged principle of nature. And if you little closely analyze the system of changing of our curriculum as prescribed by National Council for Teacher Education, and we find that so there are space and scope of incorporating and infusing 30% of the local components in teacher education. Friends, if we bring the idea of Delhi, if we bring the idea of Bhatinda, if we bring the idea of Viruvantam from in Odisha, I understand that students would be confident in theory, but they cannot able to operationalize, they cannot able to understand what the need of the local and what is the strength of the Odisha. So that's why we must accept the 30% changes and incorporation of 30% of the local components in our teacher education curriculum. But friends, it is not a small exercise. Training, designing, and developing a curriculum is a long process. And I request all my brothers and sisters who are working as one of the pedagogy teachers, the education teachers, you must sit together. You ask your principal to sit together. Have a small coffee table. Then you start analyzing what is the curriculum you have for B.Ed and M.Ed now. And you have to provide your idea to convince the principal, sir, this is the time to bring changes in our newcomers. There was a time, there was philosophy of education, we are reading such and such. But now this is the time to operationalize the curriculum. And I understand that many intellectuals, friends, have been appointed a great college like Govt training college, people from IITs, NITs, from abroad. So I request all my brothers and sisters, unless and until my curriculum is ready, unless and until the guiding principles are ready. So this is my Bible, this is my Gita, this is my Veda. Unless that, where to start and where to end. And you can encourage some of your students who have been asking questions. So ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଆଣନ୍ତୁ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ପାଖରେ ବସନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ ଆଜି ଆସନ୍ତାକାଲି ସ୍କୁଲରେ କ'ଣ ଦରକାର ଅଛି ଆଉ ଆମ କରିକୁଲମ୍ ରେ କୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ କୋଉ ଫର୍ମରେ ଆମେ ଇନକର୍ପୋରେଟ୍ କରିବା. If curriculum is ready, then half 90% work is complete. And I understand that curriculum is the beginning, and if we have a well beginning, so things will automatically take it on set. And our curriculum must be fragile. And every time it would be a curriculum is a guide, a curriculum is a framework which will guide every teacher what to do. And even if student can understand what is to be what type of things we need to understand. So this is another area we have to explore. And I understand that after this lecture, after this deliberation, at least this is my urgent request to principal sir also. If possible, you can have a small academic gathering, think about evaluation and new ideas and integrating the new ideas as per the need of the school in upcoming curriculum. I understand that. Next, so many a time we wait that our curriculum should be a model curriculum. Yes, so model is a model, but model is not a kind of individual idea. So the need of the Kandhamal students, the need of Odia students are completely different from the students from the Delhi, students from the Rajasthan, students from the Arunachal Pradesh, students from the Andaman and Nicobar. Do you think that what type of curriculum has been prescribed by NCT must be implemented with same line, same words, and same paragraphs in Odia, Odisha? Not definitely. Yes, we must not make our students become inferior. Still, we have to give the best of local and global. If you like to make our students global, I understand that they need to be localized first. Then localization, definitely guide how they can be globalized. So everything, every global expression is processed by the local ideas. So induction is a great idea. and through induction we have to reach the global forum. Yes, I must salute that we need to prepare the future teachers for the country, not only for the country, but also for the globe. But whether the first question we understand, where are you from, students? I am from Odisha. Can you speak some educational landscape? Can you speak some educational varieties in the field of teachers? Yes, many times our mouth don't open because we have not read about the teachers. We have not ever understood about the teacher narratives of teachers. So what kind of teacher we have? We have a great teachers. So why not we incorporate these great teachers? Why not we have been inspired by the great teacher of teacher? So what are their ideas? What ways they have taken? What are their ingenious things? Like we have Chandrasekhar Pathani Sahab, we have Fakir Mohan, we have great teachers. Why? So I understand that we all are sitting in a August platform and the future destiny will be decided by a great teacher who are sitting here, and there may be a kind of fine integration between the human minds and the experienced faculty members and principals and other professors who are sitting in the dais. And we must encourage the young minds, and they must be guided by the rich and enriching experience of teachers like us. Then only a sustainable teacher education will emerge. If we talk on only हमारे टीचर तो हमें ब्लैकबोर्ड में पढ़ाते थे, सो अब हम काम करके नहीं आते थे तो बहुत मार पड़ता था। मैं संस्कृत टीचर को आज भी याद रखता हूँ क्योंकि मुझे मार मार के सिखाया 99 कैसे रखा जाएगा। नेक्स्ट टाइम है, we must create a leader which must provide an example. Student will think that we all are police. क्या अपना बात आके क्लास में दे रहा है? So students को जो चीज जरूरत है, we have to give such kind of examples. Why not we can say how artificial, how we can break the monotony, how we can stop the artificial intelligence, how we can supersede the artificial intelligence. If artificial intelligence would be used in terms of chat GPT, reflex, so supplement our teaching. I understand that. So human intelligence is necessary, but artificial intelligence by कहना नहीं चाहिए human intelligence. So that artificial intelligence must supplement the human intelligence. And समय ऐसे होता है friends. So the great intellectual fellow in the world is nothing but a guru. If I look back, if I push theological come across Chanakya and Chandragupta, we have heard about the Vasishtha in Ram. Our event, but everything is decided, and unless and until it is ordered by their guru. So we have to create such type of guru. Guru is not by simply transacting knowledge. So guru has the different unique features. Now this is my fundamental question to all the prospective teachers sitting in front of me as a digital audience. We need to differentiate the difference between guru and teacher, because national education policy is rightly talking again and again. We have to create Vishwaguru. Friends, do you think that without having any guru, our Bharat will do? And if we consider ourselves guru, then what would be the nature? What would be the character? What would be the word? What would be the accountability? What would be the responsibility of a guru? Yes. So friends, I am placing this question to you in within a time framework. You will get the answer, and at least through the time framework of the teacher, you must get the answer how I want a guru, and at least having characteristic of all the things. Yes, definitely understand economic is one of the sustainable component to become a teacher, but always economical. The minimum necessity is economic, financial condition. And the eighth thing, there are n number of components to make you a great teacher. A great teacher is not a great teacher, but simply coming to the class and conducting everything. But this is the time to explore. So how we can create a great teacher, and at least if we create one teacher in one session, and through one institution, it would be a great contribution to like a cornerstone in chemistry. Significant, unique contribution is very much important. We have to identify the ability of our prospective teachers. I understand that students who are coming and taking admission in Odisha, they are the real gem and cream of everywhere. We are getting. But friends, so first of all, you believe on yourself, develop self-esteem, value yourself. I can do. And if you start on thinking I can do, I can understand slowly and slowly, you can able to conceptualize and you can take n number of examples. Take 2 examples at least of your life. Who was one of your best teacher and who you never liked. ये दोनों टीचर के बीच में आप सिलेक्ट कर लीजिए तो कौन आपके लिए एग्जाम्पल का टीचर आप जिसको कभी लाइक नहीं करते और जिसके वजह से आप इस ट्रेनिंग कॉलेज में एडमिशन होने के लिए मिला यस डेफिनेटली द फर्स्ट टीचर विल बी अ मदर ऑफ कन्नड़ एंड वी हैव टू एक्सप्लोर द सेकंड टीचर सो इन दिस कनेक्शन फ्रेंड्स सो there are many things to explore and there are n number of experiences you are getting and always use your experiences. National education policy is talking about experiential learning and probably you have understand that experience is one of the wonderful elements to make a teacher become excellent teacher. So use your experiences, learn from errors, and learning is always continuous. And friends, never you think that learning is only and only take place inside the four compartments of the classroom. That's why in page number 12, National Education Policy is talking about experiential learning. Learning can happen in any place, provided we must be ready to learn. It can happen inside. It can happen without light. It can happen in complete darkness. It can happen inside and outside our classroom. But provided one must be ready to learn, one must be ready to listen, one must be ready to conceptualize. Unless and until we listen, unless and until we visualize, unless and until we apply, so what kind of idea are we going to take in mind, friends? Now we have been listening that our national education policy is putting emphasis again and again. So our student must be skilled. Friends, can you think that skill can be cut or skill is cut? So मुझे लगता है तो हमारे करिकुलम के skill is really cut. It is difficult to cut. Yes. Not to make comments what has been happened. Yesterday has been done. Tomorrow has not yet been come. We have to work on the present. So, if we like to enhance and harness the skill of my students, my prospective teacher educator must be skilled. My prospective educators must be theorized what is skill and how skill can be taught inside the school. Every time my students, whenever they are visiting the intensive schools, I used to have a regular question. Do you know how to teach skill? The spontaneous response always get no sir, because our schools are not in a position to teach skills. Hence, so classroom is not a place, and classroom may be a place. We have to create the situation where skilling can be done, where experiences can be created. We have to sensitize my students. We have to energize my students. The students automatically start on learning. You need not to call students. Students will come. Tell, sir, आप आइए. आपको मैंने आसन तो आज ये काम कर. And that would be great idea reflected in national education policy. We are talking about the student-centered education, student-centered education, student-directed education. Students has to energize. Teacher has to be one of the facilitators. Teacher has to be one of the programmer. Teacher has to guide. Teacher must not be like a dictator. So, how it can happen? Many systems come. So it can only happen when student will be warm up. Warm up कराना हमारा काम है. I have seen the many players being in their strong and silly winter. until they are work. Once there will be work, then continue games are continue. तो हमें वार्म अप कराना विद्यार्थी को काम है नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में ये बात इसलिए बार-बार कहा जाता है so sensitization of the prospective teachers, continuity of the better students. If anything will stop, then again to establishing linkage is really difficult. So continuity, consistency always helps to things become productive. So if really friends would like to make our teacher education become productive, if we like to make the teacher become productive teacher, then it would be a continuous process in terms of activity, in terms of learning, in terms of discussions, in terms of seminar, in terms of panel discussion, in terms of lead lectures, in terms of operational action. Students must be busy themselves. Let them be. Let them complete themselves. Let them discuss and make argumentation, not quiet. So our institution must be need to create this platform, and students are competent enough, students are intelligent enough. We are the teachers of 19th century or 20th century. So we are quite ancient and old in our structure and approach. But nothing to be touched. Only the ways to be learned we have to teach them. I remember the great Aravinda who told nothing to be taught in the class. Only we have to show the path. So path is important. What student will be the right path, no? So he can reach from the village to the Washington. So this is all my sufficient steps. And at the same time, things should be ready. And student will decide when, how to teach, when to teach, where to teach. If my students are there, what pedagogy and what methodology I am going to adopt. And there is no specific pedagogy of all subjects in all time for all students. Yeah, heterogeneity is our duty. Subject heterogeneity, students heterogeneity, need heterogeneity, expectation heterogeneity, everything is different. Then how can you decide one single pedagogy for all students? So it is better to sensitize students. It is better to make the students become fit. The moment they will find the problem, at least they will be in a position to become confident. Then I can solve the problem. So, if I do this work being a teacher educator, my students will definitely remember. So, any situation come, any students can come in any situation. So, students, my teacher has groomed me in such a position, I can handle all the problems in a certain conditions. I am getting the solution of variety kind of problems. So, accordingly, our assessment will be different. We need to have that of the red pen, right? And that paper, I mean, who has written more than 3 pages can get more than 3 months. Who has not written, who has repeated that. So we have to provide more months. Now, friends, the assessment process has been said in National Education Policy. If you go to the page number 5, it is talking about the 360-degree evaluation, comprehensive evaluation, and evaluation must not be a single post of work. It must be done continuously, consistently, in different forms, not only from paper and pen, but also from observations, but also maybe self-evaluation may be encouraged. If all things will be integrated from curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, management, our managerial system would be like that, then we are going to make certain justice, we are going to make certain value to national education policy. And if such things could be incorporated in life, infused properly, and in teacher education system, friends, educators, we must not think, and it must be reflected our prospective teachers, and automatically it will be populated in the schools, and we are having the quality learners. Then friends, are we in a position to do this? हम ये पोजीशन में हैं ये काम करने के लिए, if not all together, सभी साथ एक साथ नहीं कर सकते हैं, curriculum को डिजाइन नहीं कर सकते हैं, pedagogy को डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते हैं, assessment को इंटीग्रेट नहीं कर सकते हैं, at least किसी ना किसी जगह से चालू करें. A small beginning, we
will make you a greater MD. So this is my honest request, and the final appeal is that we must ensure and assure that in what capacity, in what way we can contribute to the teacher education system in terms of building institution, in terms of incorporating cultural activities, in terms of making the students become social, in terms of integrating certain values among students, in terms of making the student become competent, in terms of ensuring learning outcomes. So this is the time to make a fine integration between the competence, attitude, knowledge, skill, and value. Then we can have a right solution to national education policy, and that would be a great respect to the country like India. Jai Bharat, Jai Odisha. Namaskar.
Sir, thank you very much for talking about our responsibility as teacher educators. Your words will guide us and our institutions to add better meaning to the teacher education. Thanks a lot for finding some time for us despite your busy schedule, sir. Thank you very much.
Rather, sir, I should be thankful that you have given opportunity to express my ideas. I am having all my younger brothers and sisters. Subrata is my younger brother that I consider all of my advisor and my respect to
very much.
great elder brother Manas sir. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to express my small inexperienced ideas and for my best.
It was an excellent presentation. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir, we will go ahead with our next agenda. Thank you. Now quickly we will split into two, and one group will go to the classroom, and we have some presenters from outside, and they will be making the presentations on the given topic. In this session here, hello, attention please, be seated. Don't use message, please be seated. Listen to me. Yes. Don't disturb, please. In this presentation session here, Professor Subhash Chandra Pradhan would be the chair, and we have 6 presenters here. Their PPTs are already loaded, and they will be making presentations. They will try to wind up within 5 minutes, and we will start with Kalinga, and they have the schedule, and we will start accordingly. The other group, the students also, they know where to go. The other group will go to the B.Ed classroom. Their session chair will be Dr. Ajay Kumar Tenko. Along with Dr. Ajay Kumar Tenko, I request some other guests to kindly go to that room as well. We can have some guests there, some guests here, some faculty members of Kalinga here, some faculty members there, and of course some students. So please, as per the plan, students are requested to go to the B.Ed classroom quickly.
Hello. No students should leave the college. They should be either in this room or in the first year general classroom. No student is allowed to leave the classroom. So they will be here till 6. Yes.
Nivedita Acharya and Dr. Sampurkar, Professor Ramdev Pradhan, my presentation, then Nrsimha Panikrai, Lakshmi Bar, Gyananjali Patra are the presenters here. Then in the B.Ed classroom, Susmita Behra, Pushpamala Tripathi, Elisha Behra, Purnachandra Behra, Dr. Purnachandra Behra, Devabrata Pandal, Ashish Kumar Das, Asim Kumar Nayak. These are the presenters in the B.Ed classroom. Okay, please, Nivedita Acharya, first presenter. Audience, requested to maintain discipline, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected jury members.
You will call the next presenter, sir, and you can give your comments and all. We'll give you a mic.
And the audience. I, Nivedita Acharya, student of PG Department of Education from Ramadevi Women's University, glad enough to stand before you all today and present my seminar on the topic of the professional development matter beyond good teaching. As we have gathered here for this 2-day national seminar on changing paradigms of teacher education in effective of NEP 2020. I'll be shortly mentioning the highlighted points according famous definition by Angelo J.D. Andrew, which means learning is a continuous process and it is a passion that never stop anyone whoever wants to learn. It is not specific in a boundary. When we talk about teacher education, when we talk about teachers, professional development is nothing but to encourage teachers to actively seeking for the new skills and the new technologies for redefining their skills and teaching practices for improvising an effective classroom teaching. Why professional development? As the NEP 2022 document says, the National Education Policy on Teacher Education is a transformative one. It advocates the continuous professional development (CDP) to enhance the quality education. It also proposes a shift from traditional teacher training to a model that promotes lifelong education, continuous professional development, and a multidisciplinary education by aiming an equip of dynamic teacher competencies. Having said that, I have mentioned three major areas that why professional development needs to be focused and why does it matter in a good teaching scenario. First one is boost the profession as a teacher, updated skills and resume, which is a digital tool, burnout and turnover in teaching. I would like to state that first point, burnout and turnover in teaching. In nowadays, teachers are involved in many other areas after teaching. They are constantly having psychological stress, which can lead them to leave their profession as a teacher. That means burnout and turnover, and the factors like excessive workload, lack of peer support, lack of friendly environment. Teacher wants to quit their job. Teacher wants to quit their profession as a teacher, which is not a positive impact for teacher education. This is the point that burnout and turnover. Then next, I have mentioned updated skills and resume. Teacher must have. It highlights that the digital literacy is has to be a focus area when we talk about the national education policy and professional development. It is a highlighted area. Next slide. I have mentioned the types of professional development. I have categorized it in 6 different types, which is student-centered approach, leadership and career growth, research and reflective practice. Before slide. Previous. Pedagogical development, subject matter expertise, and technological integration. These are the major typical aspects of key aspects of professional development, which must have focus for creating an efficient quality education and creating a proficient teachers. Next.
Please move forward. Only 3 minutes.
Every professional can't be a teacher, but every teacher must have a professional. Yes, when we talk about teaching is the mother of all the professions that already mentioned in NEP 2020. Professional development focuses on healthcare sector, agricultural sectors, technologies, and business areas. But when we talking about a specific area which is teaching, there are some challenges and limitations that coming across to work as a barrier for teacher education. First one is structural and institutional barrier. I will go with an example, with a school having a rigid structure and excessive workload
teacher that doesn't allow a teacher to engage themselves in some meaningful activities or meaningful workshops or seminars. It impacts the growth of a teacher and the growth of impact the growth of his profession. Then sustainability and long-term impact. Teacher training program lack of follow-up services. That's why it doesn't remain sustainable and does not remain the impact. And it doesn't remain the sustainable impact which is affecting by the teacher. Technology and accessibility. Every teacher, when we're talking about teacher education in rural areas or underprivileged areas, there are millions of, there are numbers, there are studies, research studies found that there are numbers of teachers who are not digitally equipped. They are not digitally termed the techno-pedagogical terms of teaching learning areas. They are not relevant with their technology across the world. They just want to stick with the traditional teaching learning methods. By introducing the challenges, I have proposed the solutions according to NEP 2020 that the policy recommended that establishing a continuous professional development and leveraging the platforms, online platforms like Swayam and Diksha to help the teachers to make technologically able and fostering collaborations between educational institutions to overcome these challenges. These are the solutions. This is the solution to overcome these challenges according to NEP 2020. Approaches to professional development. I have mentioned that approaches. A study shown that it is a study shown that 21% of students' achievement based upon the classroom teaching. That what they teach from their teachers, what they learn from their teachers, they're going to write in their examination and they're going to get qualified. Approaches are I have followed this approach, including holistic development, technological integration, reflective practices, learner-centric approach, collaborative. At last, I would like to say, yes, my presentation is does professional development matters beyond good teaching. I would like to state my opinion. Yes, it does matter. It matters significantly beyond just a good teaching. It is crucial for achieving long-term educational reforms and improving their teaching learning practices and quality. So let's prioritize the professional development areas and make the education a qualitative one. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nivedita.
Dr. Shaktika is my guide. The drawing paper of me and
Okay. So, nicely presented. And the audience must have listened to you while you were presenting the paper titled Does Professional Development Matter Beyond Good Teaching? That is what I think is a rhetorical question that will need an answer. And at the end, you will answer that yes, that matters a lot. So, if you do not develop yourself, then your teaching will be affected.
Yes.
So that is what. If any questions are there from the audience, just one question.
You may ask me questions.
If anybody is interested, anybody is there to ask just one question. It's all right. Thank you very much for your presentation. The next presenter, the Rosina Kalinga, sir.
Rosina is absent. Is that?
Okay. Rosina Kalinga is here.
Sir, next.
Then the next presenter will be Lakshmi Bag. Is he here? Lakshmi Bag. She will be talking about teacher education in ITP, the future. So just try to present the paper within 5 minutes so that we will have kind of question answer if there is time. So go ahead.
Good evening, teachers and dear my friends. Here I am presenting the topic Teacher Education ITEP, the future. Here I will introduce to you Teacher Education and Integrated Teacher Education Program ITEP. First, Teacher Education. Teacher education means a policy, a program, a provision that is equip the teachers with attitude, knowledge, and skills which they require to perform their skills in school in a better way. Next, ITEP. ITEP stands for Integrated Teacher Education Program. It's a 4-year program. It is launched by NEP 2020. It aims to provide four-year integrated B.Ed, which is disciplinary knowledge along with professional knowledge in an integrated manner. So my paper's objectives are features of ITEP, then impact of ITEP on teacher education, challenges in implementing ITEP, and future of teacher education. First, we will look on the objectives of teacher education. Develop subject expertise and teaching skills, enhance communication and classroom management skills, promote continuous professional development. First, we will look on the features of ITEP. First, 4-year integrated BSc, BCom, BA plus B.Ed program. Here, if a person wants to pursue ITEP course, then he will get 2 courses simultaneously, like BA B.Ed, BSc B.Ed, and BCom B.Ed. Next features, strong emphasis on pedagogy and subject knowledge. Here, a person can get the 2 years content knowledge, and last year they will get the pedagogical knowledge. Next provision. Here you can see a person, if a person want to enroll in ITEP course, then he will have to go through a entrance test, which is NCET, National Common Entrance Test, and it will be conducted by NTE, National Testing Agency. The next feature, focus on internship and classroom training. Here, the student teachers will go to the school for classroom teaching, and they will gain experience on teaching skills and knowledge and classroom management, and they will be trained in early childhood care and education. They will be trained in foundational literacy and numeracy, and then they will be trained in inclusive education, and they'll understand the Indian values. Here are the challenges in implementing ITEP. First, need for a curriculum restructuring. Here, a well-designed curriculum, multidisciplinary curriculum, which is blends with the professional knowledge along with the professional knowledge and disciplinary knowledge is needed. So it is a challenge for us. Adequate funding and resource allocation. Here, the adequate funding is needed because they will develop a new formula, multidisciplinary curriculum. After that, they will need highly qualified teachers, and they need textbook, educational technologies. Here is the future of teacher education. Personalized and adaptive learning for educators, then global collaboration and exchange programs, lifelong learning and continuous professional development. Then conclusion. The future of teacher education is evolving, and I think IT will be a step forward in enhancing teaching standard.
Your presentation was focused on ITEP,
Yes, sir.
the need of the hour. So, if any questions from the audience, student side? No? Okay, thank you. Then, the last speaker of the session is Kandhamal Patra. Kandhamal Patra.
Hello, good evening.
A warm good afternoon to all of you, dignitaries and my dear audience. My name is Kalinga and the context of national seminar changing paradigm of teacher education in context of NEP 2020. I am going to present the topic on the subtopic. The name is teacher education policies, plan and implementation. So, teacher education. I request to explain the next slide. Teacher education is not the education system only, it is the vital role in our education system. What is the meaning of teacher education system? Actually, teacher education system means it's a program of research, training, and education to those people who teach from primary to higher secondary level. As per the Kilpatrick, teacher education system needs three quality or three skill. A teacher needs three skill, and that was his teaching skill, pedagogical skill, and professional skill. My next slide will present on the objective of my paper. Which one? First one base is the policies and plan which implemented by our government to enhance or to strengthen the education system. Next, what is the present structure of a teacher education system? And the next one is implementation and recommendation. My next slide is what is the challenges in teacher education system. And the last one is the national curriculum framework of 2020. So my next slide will be present on the commissions on teacher education system. How many there are a number of committees and commissions are established to strengthen the education system of India. First, we can say the Kothari Commission, and also the National Education Policy, National Policy on Education, and Acharya Ramar Committee. If I say some dates, Kothari Commission is proposed to establish the NCTA, and Acharya Ramar Committee is proposed to intensive program. National Curriculum Framework of Education 2009 and 10. It's the revised of education system. And my next slide will be present on the National Education Policy of 2020. There are some present system of education, teacher education. First one is the 2-year grade program in which we all are enter our names. And the next one is diploma in elementary education, which is commonly known as D.Ed. And the last one is 4-year integrated grade. This is the new context on the basis of 2020 policy. Four-year integrated B.Ed is mostly based on multidisciplinary approach, and it doesn't mean that two-year B.Ed will be going to vanish. It will be remaining until the 2030. So please proceed the next slide. Implementation and recommendation of NEP 2020 on regarding of teacher education system. So first one is the integrated teacher education program. As you all know, this is mostly known as the four-year integrated B.Ed. So why this program is coming to in the implementation? Because of it has two main purpose. First one is it give the B.Ed program, and at the same time it will be provide the specialized subject. For example, at the same time we can proceed our bachelor in education, and as well we can have a specialized undergraduate degree. It may be economics, politics, and history, and other subjects. Next one is digital and security infrastructure development. It doesn't mean to make policies or plans. It also need to implement the policies and plans. So CPD is one of the basic to implement and strengthen the education policy. As one of my friends asked question that there is any in-service training in NEP 2020. So this is one of CPD, which is continuous professional development. It's based on the it's mandatory for all in-service teachers that 50 hours, minimum 50 hours of in-service training will be provided to each and every teacher. It may be in offline or online. In the online platform, Shoyam, this platform will help to get trained. Next is development of professional standard of teacher. This is provided. This is the approach of NCTN. It will collaborate with NCRT and SCRT. This scheme is provide the strengthening of education system and teacher education program. It based on the curriculum building and also ethical standard of the teacher. Next one is 1 year Bachelor of Education. It means 1 year B.Ed. This is a very crucial time to say this thing, because 1 year B.Ed program is for those students who are pursuing 4 years special undergraduate course. It means 4 years plus 3, and those who are already completed their master degree. Please proceed to next slide. There are a number of challenges in teacher education system, which is the main focus of my paper. First one is, as some people will discuss the Burma Commission. Next to yes. So challenges in teacher education. First one is the selling degrees in a high price that will be act. And next one is the quality of teacher education institution. It will be enhanced, and teachers test will be seen as a very serious topic. And next one is infrastructure and resources. Future direction. What will be the future direction for teacher education program? From my side, I will give some points. That one is the technology enhanced teacher education and community-based teacher education, national level entrance exam, which will be gather all the qualitative teacher. And next one is education department in all university. It means there should be an education department in all university. Quality PhD program. Emphasis that if a person pursues PhD, then there should be a pedagogical and curriculum building program for the PhD scholars. That's why after taking classes, it will be not harmful or it will be not critical for him or her. Next one is professional development for all teachers at all levels. A national mission for mentoring. A national mission will be provided for those. For example, UGC and other agency will take help from this mentor. And last is action on irresponsible teacher education institution. This would be treated as an important part of future education system. So thank you. This is all about my presentation. I want to end my paper by concluding that if proper implementation of policies can be create a better education program. Thank you, sir. And these are my difference.
Thank you. So whether we are heading towards a successful implementation of the 2020, and I was speaking on the part of the 2020. So many any questions from this presentation? Okay. So I'm sorry I told that this is the last presentation. Actually, Monsieur Kalinga is the last speaker in the session. Now Monsieur Kalinga. He will be speaking on the topic empowering teachers for inclusive classroom.
Thank you so much, sir. Very good afternoon to present or everyone present here. So, my topic for today's presentation is about empowering teachers for inclusive classroom. I am it's going little beyond today's context. I am focusing more on the international strategies for dyscalculia. I have submitted this report as an assignment to our college. So next please. These are my contents. I am going to briefly discuss about the policy perspectives of inclusive education. Then after that, I will go through the dyscalculia specifically. So, inclusive education, inclusive classroom, we have already read, we have already taught in our classrooms that inclusive means we are bringing all the students from various backgrounds together in a single classroom. So, it's a little bit challenging for a regular teacher to address all the problems that are present in the classroom due to various backgrounds of students. So, if we see various policies, various acts, so rights of persons with disability of 2016 specifically states the definitions of this system of education, where students without disability can read all together and various facilities be provided to all the students, so that equity must be maintained inside a classroom. And previously there was only 7 categories of disabilities mentioned, and now it has been increased to 21 categories. It reflects how inclusiveness is important in education specifically. And in RTE, also it has been mentioned about inclusiveness. So in the perspective of NEP 2020, specifically in the chapter 6 and para 6.10 to 6.14, there are many points and sub-points mentioned about how inclusive education should be maintained, should be organized in our nation, and specifically how teachers will be empowered so that they can address to all the needs of the students and the children. Okay, and now recently NCF 2023 also there are specific chapters about inclusive education and equality and inclusiveness, so that children from various backgrounds, specifically from disabled children and children with specific learning disorders, can be their needs can be catered. Now I will move towards my specific topic, that is what is dyscalculia. We generally hear mathematics, that we thought mathematics is very difficult subject, we do not understand it. But this may be case of dyscalculia. Dyscalculia means it should be identified at an early stage, and it is a problem of arithmetic mainly. We do not focus about higher mathematical capabilities like trigonometry, geometry, like that. We generally discuss about arithmetic computations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and these are the definitions given by Children with Specific Learning Disabilities Grade 2018 and International Classification of Diseases, which specifically mentions it is a disability of basic computational skills, and it's not solely due to the general mental retardedness in inadequate schooling. Okay. So how should we empower teachers in our teacher education so that they can address those type of learning disorders? So in case of specific learning disorders, we need to identify what are the signs that are present in the learners that specifically point to this learning disorder, in this case the dyscalculia, and what are the intervention strategies. This is most important. What are the intervention strategies we are going to address so that we are going to address these problems? So identification, we generally look for, in case of dyscalculia, we generally look for some primary teachers. So See here, you can see two apples and one apple. We add these two and we get the number 3. But a children with dyscalculia, he cannot process that 1, 2, there are 2 apples and I can attach these 2 apples to the number 2. Are you understanding? This number is after for the children with dyscalculia. But the complete things are apple. Apple is a complete thing. But he or she can not relate to the complete thing to the abstract thing. That is the problem with dyscalculia. And another one is the child with dyscalculia cannot generally process the word problems. Means if we give the problem of calculation like addition, he cannot whether it is addition, it is subtraction, he cannot directly, immediately form an idea about that. Okay? So this type of science we can see in the dyscalculia person. And also they generally rely on counting. Counting that if we say 4 plus 5, 4, 1, 5, 6, 7, they will count with the fingers. So what is the problem here? If I say to you that what is the value of 4 plus 5, you immediately say 9. You do not need counting. Because it is a non-counting strategy you have already developed in our mind. But in the early stages, the children with dyscalculia, they do not have that capability. They do not transition from counting to non-counting strategies. These are the signs we have to look for. So there are some also informal assessment that we do observations. Means we look for signs like whether one can easily recognize the time what is in the clock, whether he or she can give proper directions. These are all related to mathematics, special problems and numerical problems. We can see that in our children during our normal classroom transactions. These signs we have to remember to identify the person, the children with this. Now there are these are some standardized tests that are already present in various literature to particularly target and identify the skills, the lacuna in the skills that are present, that are mathematical skills in the children, so that we can find children with dyscalculia. I mentioned some of them: the computational skill, counting skills, math fluency, how fast one can answer. Mental computation, that was saying that non-counting strategy, the mental computation, and quantitative reasoning. Various type of numbers will be given, small numbers, whether a student, a children can can give the correct explanation, correct reasoning of that quantitative reasoning or not. So these are some examples of some questions from this standardized test. You can see how fast can you count these dots. Can you count these dots? How many dots are there? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Okay. Now you are counting. Some are counting readily, some are counting slow. So it is a problem. This is a problem for standard 1, standard 2 students. How fast they can count? Some of them cannot count correctly. Some of them count fastly. Based on this, we can identify the children with dyscalculia. Now this is also one example that. Which number is greater? Generally, they go for the talisman. That 3 is greater. But which one is greater? 8 is greater, right? So these are the questions from this standardized test. This type of questions help to identify the person. Now I move to the intervention strategies. First one is specific intervention strategies. What do you mean is specific means there are various aspects of mathematics we need to consider for the intervention strategies. Like if it is a word problem. It's the arithmetic problem. So let me start from arithmetic information. Arithmetic means 2 plus 1. How quickly you can tell 2 plus 1 equals 3. If it is 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3. Now, how quickly you can say the answer and how accurately you can say the answer. Based on these 2 strategies also there. Speeded practice and non-speeded practice. And next one. So this is an example of how we can intervene in the word problem strategy. So let's see the question. So here Sarah got 3 pens and 2 notebooks. Each pen was 10, each notebook was 25. But it's pen. We can easily say the answer. Can you? Now, for a children with dyscalculia, how we can approach the solution for them? Okay, they cannot form the what is the concept? Is it addition? Is it multiplication? Is it division? They cannot form that. For that, we need step-by-step procedure. Here, general 3 steps are there. That means first one, categorize the problem. Whether it belongs to an addition, multiplication, or division. Now it belongs to addition and multiplication. First one, categorize. After that, step 2 is read and underline. Then what are the variables present? What is present? What are answer? What is the question? We have to underline this. After that, formulate a meta equation. That means for a complete thing, we give some symbol like P. P for total, P for pens, N for notebooks. We give this type of symbols, and gradually we form idea inside the children's brain, so that he can develop the understanding of basics of mathematics. Now, these are some mathematical interventions. Now, I have mentioned here one is neurological intervention. What I mean by this, sometimes the problem is not at the arithmetic level. Maybe the problem is at the neurological level. Maybe he cannot say the words, he cannot understand the language, he cannot spatially distinguish a geometrical shape. These type of interventions we call as neurological interventions. Another one is, if you like, the more complex and less complex approach. What is this? Suppose there is a student who struggles with maths. We give him one problem. So if he does that problem accurately, answers that accurately, we give him a complex one. If he cannot answer it, then we give him a less complex one. Like that, we approach the problem. So now this is general approach for method. Now we help by offering more structure. We increase the complexity based on the student's level and give some verbal help also. And if sometimes need concrete material, some sticks, abacus, some apples, small items. And last thing is based on zone of proximal development. When there is necessary, if there is help is necessary, then we give some help, we demonstrate it, and tell him to imitate us. Then give a similar example, similar problem, so that he can understand, relate, and move towards more complex problems. Next. Now there are some accommodations also available in dyscalculia. Generally for disabled students, we give more time for exam. We provide them with calculators. We teach them in small increments, small things, basic things first, then move towards the complex ones. And we use concrete materials, not abstract numbers. We use concrete materials for their learning and assessment. So these are my references. I collected all this data from books, various review articles, and government policies. Now I would like to conclude. A quote from Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam that all of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talents. Equal opportunity means this equal opportunity can only be possible if we teachers learn how to address the various aspects of the children and variety of students that are present in our classroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christina. So, as I was giving the task of the session here, at last I must say something as an obligation. So you have already listened to those 4 speakers, presenters. They spoke on various aspects of NDP 2020, and the last person who spoke on this campaign to you carefully. So what I understood is that was in nutshell we can say education for all. So that is the whole goal of NDP 2020. So I think that all of you have presented very well, starting from the first presenter to the last. And as your principals have said that we had not seen in such kind of engaging seminar till date. I also felt that as you were speaking, as you went on speaking, I thought that you are all smart speakers, presenters, and congratulations to all of you. And I hope that the same kind of academic exercise will continue in future. And I also take this opportunity to thank your principals and to invite me on this occasion to become a part of such kind of exercises. With this, I remain. Thank you very much once again.
today's technical session and at 6:30 again we meet with our cultural program. Okay? So now you are free.